over 130 points at the opening bell, despite all the negative headlines on trade and politics and all the rest of it. Joining us now is former Reagan economist, Art Laffer. Look, Art, tariffs are almost universally opposed at home and abroad. So why are stocks up yet again this morning?
Well, I think there are two issues here with trade, Stuart, if I may. Number one issue is I do believe that foreigners place more tariffs on the U.S. than the U.S. places on them. And that is wrong on that part, and that is what Trump is trying to correct. Trump would love to have them drop their tariffs instead of us raising our tariffs. The second point, I think, is equally as strong on the other side, which is any tariff, whether it's put on by foreigners or by Americans, is damaging to the economy and damaging to our standard of living and risks a trade war and risks a very bad economy. And I think the markets are saying that the first one, Trump's winning. And Trump should be winning.
But the market may also be saying, look, it's a negotiation. You put forward a point,
that's right.
They put forward a point. You don't necessarily have the tariffs here today, 6 months from now. It could be just temporary.
You said my point exactly. That's exactly what I was trying to say, is that these people have been badly behaving for a long, long time. It's time for them to drop their tariffs rather than us raise our tariffs. And I think this is a negotiation. And I think Trump has got the right side of the negotiation. I do fear that any type of trade war would be very damaging to the U.S. economy, and I'd advise against it. But I really think those countries should drop their tariffs against U.S. products.
OK, I'll get back to you on trade and tariffs in just a second, Art. I want to deal with Facebook. The New York Times says it gave dozens of device makers, like the big guys, Google, Apple, Amazon, Samsung, gave them access to the personal data of its users. This is a big deal.
Yeah, big deal. 60 device and phone makers, including those you cited, 50 different types of user info, also family and friends information as well. Even if they barred sharing of that info, it includes information about your email, your cell phone number, relationship, religion, politics. They also tested it, the New York Times, watch this, with the BlackBerry device. The New York Times says BlackBerry accessed the reporter's private messages and responses as well. So you got to wonder if your emails and texts are sitting with your device maker now in a server somewhere. That's a real serious issue. Could violate the 2011 FTC privacy consent decree struck with Facebook. And Facebook, the New York Times says most of these contracts are still in effect, and they began winding them down last April. But
they're still there.
Facebook is saying so this is an issue about Facebook losing control of its user info.
And the market is responding to it. We just put the pre-market quote on Facebook up there, and it's down $3. Not a huge drop, but an unusual drop for a company like this. Facebook is back to 190 as of this morning. Now, take a look at this headline. It's from CNBC editor John Harwood. He is, let's see, what's his position, please? Editor at large, that's John Harwood. Here it is. Trump's tariffs on U.S. allies will shrink the savings Americans gain from tax cuts. Art Laffer, back to you on this. The tariffs really hurt our economy. Does Harwood have a point?
Yes, he does. He's completely correct on that. Taxes, whether they be on income, whether they be on purchases, whether they be on traded products, all hurt the U.S. economy, and that's what I was afraid of with the trade war. But their tariffs hurt all the world's economy, too, and their tariffs are much higher than our tariffs are. What they should do is lower their tariffs, not us raise ours.
OK, we get the point, Art. Hold on one second. I'm moving on to a tweet from President Trump. Now, this one is over the weekend.